That was Kim Hill with Be Glorified. Well, I got 7 things that I want to remind you about the Lord. Number 1, He is our strength. Paul said simply this. He says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Then the second thing is the Lord will never leave us. And of course, Jesus said in Matthew chapter 28, verse number 20, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Then he says, I have plans for you. And that is, of course, we find in Jeremiah chapter 29, verse number 11, I have plans to make you prosper. Then, of course, you have John saying in 3 John 2, he says, I pray that you'll be in prosperity and health, even as your soul prospers. Then, of course, we have, he will hear our prayers. Daniel 9:23 and Daniel 10:12 remind us that even before the request is out of our mouth, the answer is already on the way. Also, as well, the Lord is going to fight for us today. Isn't it great to know that we have the one who's large and in charge on our side, fighting for us in our corner? That is absolutely marvelous. Also, as well, he says, I will give you peace. Now, that is a promise that Jesus gave in the book of John when he said, Jesus said, I will give you peace, not even as the world can give, and the world can't give it, and the world cannot take it away. He will give us that wonderful absence of personal conflict and warfare. And then last, he says, I will always love you. Of course, we know that it says in 1 John 4:8 that God is love. In that same chapter, it also says, of course, that perfect love casts out all fear. And isn't it great to know that the one of the virtues found in, of course, 1 Corinthians 13:13 is that the greatest of these is love. Remember today, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Again, those 7 things. The Lord is our strength. He will never leave us. He has plans for us to prosper. He will hear our prayers. He will fight for us. He will always give us peace, and he will always love us. That's a great thought for us today here on the AM 930 The Light.